everyone, it's Claire back again. Well, you know what, this destashing series this time has been fascinating for me, going through colour categories and shades rather than brands, because you know I am a huge green nail polish lover. It's my favourite shade. But I don't have as many bright greens as I thought I was going to have. In fact, I've discovered that the majority of my vast green nail polish collection are olive greens, darker kind of khaki greens, or on the other spectrum, pastel mint kind of greens. So I've got some brights here today, and actually I've been through my entire collection and these are the only ones that I would consider bright rather than pastel or darker shades. So anyway, I could talk about green forever, so let's make a start. We'll go with the lightest and work our way round. I think I've got enough swatches on the swatch wheel. So this first one here is Pistache, and it is a classic pistachio cream from Sinful Colours, and it's opaque. It's a really great formula, really creamy, buttery, and I just love that shade. But yeah, it's very unusual to me that I don't have more bright greens. I think I must have destashed quite a few. This is Vibrant Vibes from Essie, and it's not the best formula. In fact, it's pretty terrible. So I was just wondering, I was just going to say, I wonder if I'll be destashing many, but maybe. This polish is Jade Jump, and look how much it's separated. Okay, that's a bit of a shake-up, but I don't know what this is going to be like. I don't know what the formula is going to be like, but I do like this shade. It's that muted sort of jade shade. I haven't got like Mermaid's Tears, etc, etc. Those will be in a paler destash. This is definitely more of a jade, and I actually like that shade. I don't know how difficult this is going to be. This is Grass is Lime Greener. It's a bright neon pastel. Actually, I don't know, maybe it is just a neon. It's very bright. It's but it's sort of more muted than a tennis ball yellow. So that is Grass is Lime Greener. This is a very, very bright green. This is Clare from Ardous Nails. So this is one of the new creams. And this is, it's kind of like another neon pastel, but it's got a fantastic brightness to it. I love this shade. And then we move on to the more mid-tone bright greens. This is Omen from Illamasqua. And this is stuffed with a silver shimmer, but it's very bright. I've got a feeling that dries matte. And this is Toxic Apple from Model's Own. So I think even though I've got a fair few bright greens, I think a lot of them, oh, that's going to need to go over a white base. I think a lot of my greens are different from each other. I don't know, what do you think? I'm a little bit more picky when it comes to green. This one is I'm with the Lifeguard, and I love this green. So this is I'm with the Lifeguard, and it is a bright classic neon. If this ends up being exactly the same shade as Toxic Apple, I may end up destashing that one. But I'm going to need to see what everything looks like on a second coat. And these are some bright, bright greens here, but not as bright as the neons. And this is, I've got two bright green Barry M's here, and this is Kiwi. And this one here is, I think this is Green Berry. So these two actually, this one in particular, you could almost class this as a kind of like a bluish minty shade. Yeah, both fantastic formulas. And then these two are quite similar. I'm not entirely sure why I've got both of them. The H&M is called Orchid Bee, and the Revlon is called Bonsai. And I know that I sent the Revlon actually over to Catherine, Mrs. Cronall, and it is a fantastic, like, metallic gold green. This is the H&M Orchid Bee, and it's very kind of like duochrome. There's a bit of a pinky gold in there. And then this one is Bonsai, which is again very gold. This is Bonsai, which is slightly darker and actually a similar formula. So it's one of those old duochromes that need to be built up. We're being spoiled by all of the indies that do fantastic one-coat duochromes. Here is another bright green, and I don't know what this is called. I think it might be Nomad, I think, but it is a brilliant, I guess almost like a bright sage. I love that shade. It is similar to Jade Jump. It's similar to Jade Jump. I was just looking at it there, but it is a little bit darker. And then slightly even more darker is Helen. What a really pretty sort of Irish green. So that's Helen. Just very slightly darker than the Illamasqua, and this one here is the other side. And I believe this was most people's favourite or true Irish green at St Patrick's Day last year, with all the nail art and collaborations. That is a very pretty bright green. And then two final greens here that could definitely be put into the teal category, more of a green teal. This is the very shimmery, either 47 or 531, and it's a Kiko polish that I think was sent to me by either George or Andrea in Ireland. Sorry if I've got that wrong. Like I said, the majority of my collection is made up of polishes that have been sent to me. This one here is Turned Up Turquoise, and this is an old favourite from my collection. It's definitely a very, very, very bright green, and yes, it is almost that turquoise, more just slightly more green leaning, so that I can include it in this video, because I've got a ton of teal polishes all ready to go through. So these two made it into the green category. So that's all my bright green polishes. I've got 17 of them. I can't decide at all if I'm going to be destashing any of them. I'll think about that when I've done a second coat. I don't know. What do you think? Okay, so that is a second coat on everything. I absolutely love green. Look at those fantastic bright greens. But I am destashing some of them, so it helped me decide putting a second coat on. So if we start here with Pistache, I'm definitely keeping that because it is unique in my collection. However, I am going to be destashing Vibrant Vibes from Essie, just because it's not the greatest formula, to be honest. I'm going to keep Jade Jump. I was toying about whether or not to destash Grass's Lime Greener, But I actually don't have a polish this shade that's this bright, so I'm keeping hold of it for now. I'm also keeping hold of Clare and Omen from Illamasqua, but I am finally going to destash the Model's Own, which is Toxic Apple, just because I know it'll look better over a white base, and I know that I can never be bothered to do a white base. And also it's quite similar to this one, which I am keeping hold of, which is I'm with the Lifeguard, which dries matte. And then if we move on to the two Barry M's, I'm going to be keeping both of those. But these two are very similar and I do prefer this one. So I'm keeping Orchid B, and I'm actually going to destash the Revlon. I'm going to be keeping these two. I'm going to be keeping the Illamasqua, I can't remember the name, I don't know what the name is, I think it's Nomad, and this one here, which is Helen. I'm also going to be keeping the other side, which is a H&M. But these two, actually three, there was another one that I found just at the back of the box here, and this is called Kiwi Bikini, and it's just tipping into the kind of teal, but also slightly darker. And I think it's too close, just to the eye, it's a little bit too close to Pool Party to me justify keeping this one. I'm not sure, I don't know, I've changed my mind. I'm going to keep it for now, and maybe include this in a darker green destash later on in the year. But these two here, both very similar in shade, and I do prefer the finish of Turned Up Turquoise, so I'm going to keep that one, and I'm going to destash this shimmery Kiko, which I know was sent to me. I can't remember who sent it, apologies, but I'm going to recycle and send this on to somebody else. So that's my bright greens. I'm destashing 4 and I'm keeping hold of 13 of them. Still quite a lot, but for somebody who loves green, maybe not too much. Let me know what you think of these types of greens. Are you a green nail polish lover? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!